This is the Sports Psychology Podcast with Michael Seeley for July 7th, Thursday, Stage 6 of the Tour de France. 220 kilometers today, longest stage of the Tour from Banche, Belgium to Longwy, France. 3 climbs today, nothing major, nothing over 2 kilometers in length, nothing over about 7% grade, nothing too challenging. I'm going to talk about 2 things today. Number 1, the psychology and strategy of the breakaway, the long breakaway in a road race. And the second thing I'm going to talk about is the Aert strategy psychology of the uphill sprint finish, group bunch sprint uphill. Both of those came into play today. Let's start with breakaways. Wout van Aert is on fire. The guy is hell-bent on getting in breakaways. So he was in early breakaways today. I think he was in about 15 early, really small breakaways. Clearly wanted to form a breakaway and got his wish finally on getting in a 3-man breakaway with himself, Jakob Fuglsang, and the young American Quinn Simmons, just 21 years old, phenomenal talent. These guys got up to about a 4-minute lead. It's pretty incredible that just 3 guys are able to do this on this long 220-kilometer stage. Now, the other teams were letting them roast out there a bit, so they weren't chasing really, really hard, but still impressive that they were able to build up about a 4-minute lead. So the psychology I want to talk about here is, when do you commit to a breakaway? What is going on in the minds of all of your breakaway compatriots? Do you know what their plan is? Do you know what the team plan is? Do you know the strategies? What is the critical number of people in the breakaway? 3 is too little. It absolutely is. A minimal amount of people for a breakaway is probably 7 minimum to maybe 15, 20 max. Like right around 10 guys is perfect for a long stage like this. But for some reason, these guys just kept going. And I'll reveal why, some kind of maybe reasons why they did this. But what's interesting, with about 60 kilometers to go, one of the members of the 3-man breakaway, Jakob Fuglsang, literally drops by the side of the road, puts his brakes on, takes a sip of water, and just says, "I'm done, guys." Now, he'd gotten a message from the race radio from his team director to call it quits. He's like, 3 guys are not going to make it. You guys, it's down to like maybe a minute and a half at this point lead on the peloton. So Jakob Fuglsang just pulls the plug. So what happens next is that Wout van Aert and the young American Quinn Simmons, it's a 2-man breakaway, and they're still away with 30 kilometers to go. So that's pretty incredible. And Van Aert, he just literally rides Quinn Simmons off of his wheel. Now, this is on a small climb. There's not really any kind of attack, but literally just rides away. So this goes to show how strong Van Aert is. Pretty incredible. So at this point, I'm going to intervene here and just comment what the heck is going through Wout van Aert's mind, you might wonder. And at this time, when I was watching this, a lot of the commentators on TV are like, what is the strategy here? What is Jumbo-Visma's strategy? Like, this kind of doesn't make sense. There's a really, really hard stage tomorrow where the team really needs to be fresh. So why are they burning up this ride, or why is he expending so much energy? Now, Wout van Aert is not an overall tour contender. I think the best he got was, like 19th place in the Tour, and that was when he was like an hour behind. So he's not really a GC contender, but nevertheless, he is very important on the team and can help some of his other riders who are in contention for the overall. So why is he, burning up all this energy? Now, everyone was kind of wondering this until finally, afterwards, they interviewed the team director of Jumbo-Visma, and this is what he said. He said, "We had 2 strategies today, a 2-pronged kind of approach. We wanted to get Wout van Aert in a breakaway, but not a 3-man. We wanted about like a 7 to 10-man breakaway. He's strong enough to really be an engine in that and get another stage win." So they were gambling on yet another stage win. And the director of the team also said, if we have one of our guys up the road, then the other teams have to chase. It's their responsibility to chase. Our team can be much more on the defense, conserve energy, because tomorrow is a really, really difficult stage. It finishes on a 24% grade. So this kind of made sense to me, but it was only really revealed at the end of the race. The director sportif is saying, here's why we did this. And I believe it. It makes sense. It adds up. But what I don't get is that with about, 30 kilometers to go, Wout van Aert just keeps going alone, solo, and just puts his head down and doubles down. At this point, he could have just dropped back into the peloton. Day's work is done, saves his team all this energy, and he saves even some more matches for tomorrow. So why didn't he do that? That's still kind of the mystery that wasn't really revealed. So I think it might have to do with just pride. Maybe he thought he could do it. In fact, there's some quotes from some of the riders in today's race were thinking that he actually could have pulled it off. He is that strong. At one point, at the very beginning, they were doing 52 kilometers an hour. So that's sometimes it's a mystery when you're in a breakaway. What is going on behind the scenes? What did they talk about in the team the night before? What is everyone's strategy in that breakaway? Do you invest in the strategy in the breakaway, or do you drop back, literally like Jakob Fuglsang did today, and drop out of the breakaway? Okay, so next thing I want to talk about is the uphill sprint finish, the strategy, kind of the Aert strategy and mentality mindset for that. Uphill sprinting is way different, obviously, than flatland sprinting, but you have to assess things. How steep? What is the incline? What is the length? The sprint finish today was on a 1.5 kilometer climb at a 6% grade. So a lot of interesting things you can do with that. You have to know, you might think, well, you just go early because aerodynamics doesn't matter as much. You can just power it out. No, it's not that simple. Really, at a 6% grade, the perfect way to win, at least in my opinion, is to have a really strong jump and surprise people. That's the ideal way to do it. Now, the interesting strategy today for Pogačar, who is, of course, the overall favorite, and he had some incredible work today by another American, Brandon McNulty. And if you watch on YouTube, watch the video, McNulty is strong as an ox, unbelievable. He pulled all the way up this climb and was leading and strung out everybody and just whittled down the peloton to, maybe about 15 guys. Unbelievable power in Brandon McNulty. And it was perfect for Pogačar. He was right on McNulty's wheel. They're teammates, I should have mentioned that. And so Pogačar has this great sort of pacing. But what happens with about 400 meters to go is Roglic jumps away. And Pogačar has to get on Roglic's wheel. Pogačar does the perfect move with about 200 meters. He jumps really, really fast. It's all about the jump when you get on about a 6% grade. Snaps, jumps away. His strength to weight ratio is unbelievable. He's 146 pounds and has incredible power. He easily won today, won the bunch sprint, and because he was ahead of Van Aert by about 7 minutes at this point, he went into the yellow jersey. So Tadej Pogačar is in the yellow jersey. That was the drama today. So again, the psychology of the breakaway in a road race. What is the perfect number? When do you invest? When do you divest from a breakaway, right? And then how do you time your sprint depending on the grade and the length? Okay, that is it for today. Tune in tomorrow, which is going to be a pretty incredible stage. Like I said, it's finished on a 24% grade. Should be some pretty amazing things happening tomorrow. Thanks for listening.